Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Sully Squad. Happy Monday, Victory Monday, baby! Another victory for the Philadelphia Eagles. We are 4-0.
Damn right.
Dougie P came to town, got a nice little reception, got up 14-0, but at the end he wound up taking that L. So another big win in a sloppy game. I feel like the Eagles really showed us something yesterday.
Yes,
though.
they did during that.
Resiliency, dude. Last year, they will not come back from this game. Or a year before, they will not come back from this game. The shows are different this year. Resiliency. They fought back. They didn't lie down. They went up, took a beating on them after those 14 points.
Absolutely, and also such great leadership too, and poise from Hurts. He was cool as a clam in the pocket. He didn't rush anything, and he kind of persevered. In this, the weather was horrible, man. From first quarter to fourth quarter, rain, soggy, but they held their own, man. Everybody played a big part.
Yeah, so obviously, we're going to get into a lot of Eagles. Also overcame some injuries, Yes. By the way, Mailata getting out early. Shout out to Jack Driscoll. I mean, he stepped up big time.
Yes, he did.
And the kid Josiah Scott played well in the slot. So hats off to those guys stepping up. And then of course we're going to get into a lot of Phillies because the magic number is 1 to break that playoff drought for the first time in 11 years. Yeah. Kind of feel like we're kind of backing in a little bit, but at least we did take 3 or 4 from the Nats. So.
And Brewers shit the bed, man. Thank God for the Marlins. We got a big thank you to the Marlins, dude.
Yeah, Saturday and Sunday they did definite.
Yeah. Came back, yeah. Those 2 games came back. The closer came in, they blew it, and then they won the 12th last night.
And they got a solid closer for the Marlins, believe it or not. I forget his name, but I'll look it up.
So thank you to the Marlins because. Yeah. I'll tell you what, man. After being swept by the Cubs, I was a nervous wreck that we were going to have to at least win 2 or 3 in Houston. So, with that magic number being 1, I mean, hey, you know what? The Diamondbacks may even beat the Brewers. We might not even have to worry about it. So we'll get into some Phillies talk, and tonight our Philadelphia 76ers open up the preseason schedule, battling their old friend. Ben Simmons I believe is finally going to take the court. So so we'll get into some Sixers.
Let's just see a warm-ups when he says my back hurts in one play.
Yeah, my back.
Well, we'll see. It would be really ironic if Ben Simmons, the very beginning of the game, pulled up and shot a corner 3. Can you imagine that?
Yeah.
He shoots a corner 3, looks over at the Sixers bench and kind of winks at the TV like, "Hey, Philadelphia, I was just playing y'all." You know what I mean? But all right, so we're gonna get into everything and more. We'll see if Diego Fuji couldn't make it. He got held up at work, so we're gonna have Mike Fuji from Broad Street South on next Monday instead. He got held up at work, but we got the usual cast minus Diego. Diego may be on in a few minutes. I got my man Sean to my left, and I got Euro Paul right above the 76.
What's going on, man?
So how about, because I want to talk a lot of Philly. I mean, a lot of Eagles, but how about if we start off with the Phillies here, real quick, because I want to get a lot of Eagles talk, but. Phillies magic numbers down to 1. We got 3 with Houston, and hang on real quick before we get into it here. Let's just get a couple comments. We got our man Mike Lauro.
What's up, Mikey?
You could check Mike out on the Gobbler Show Sunday mornings, and also Thursday night on the Mike's Locker Room on the Out of the Box Network, and you could also check him out on the College Football Frenzy on the Out of the Box Network with myself, Paul Spencer, and Joey Woods. We got to shout out Steve Roth. Can I join y'all? Just asking. Steve, you could hop on. Everybody's always welcome to hop on the Sully Squad. We'll wrap about that.
Talk about it later.
Mike Lauro, let's send the Marlins a fruit basket.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
We got Dave Arnold. Hey, how is everyone doing on the Sully Squad? Yo, we're doing great. We got a baseball team that we may finally have a red October. We got a basketball team that I think is going to make a major run this year, even in a tight East, or tough East, excuse me. And we got a football team that's 4-0. So let's go. Yeah. Here's our man, Chris Rapizzi. Yo, hey, what's up, Chris? How you doing? And here's our man, the Gobbler himself, Pat Bernard. You can check him out on Sunday morning. Well, basically, you can check the Gobbler out like anywhere.
The Blue Oyster, like he says.
Yeah, that's right.
I think so. He's on tomorrow too, on the Fantasy Frenzy too, right?
Yeah, Pat's basically everywhere. He's like he's like
many trades.
I was gonna say he's like the opposite of Where's Waldo, because you don't have to find him. You know what I mean? Or maybe yeah. So you could check Pat everywhere, but so the magic numbers down to 1. Who's pitching tonight? We got Nola
and then Nola against McCullers. Yeah, the series, like the game to win is tonight, because tomorrow you got Verlander, who has an under 2 ERA. He's a Cy Young finalist, in my opinion. And then you got Valdez on the next third game. So I think the night to win is tonight, because I'm not confident.
A lot of guys have been hitting off from McClure. You're right. The last game, I think he got rocked for a couple hits. But yeah, just like you said, tonight's the night. Yeah. But I'm just shocked that they're going with the 1-2-3 punch for the pitching. But
because they're going to be off for like 11 days or something. So Dusty Baker don't want to.
He wants to have the loose arms. Yeah,
dude, who knows? They might only pitch like a few innings anyway.
Yeah, true. We don't know, but
all we got to do is win one.
Yeah,
I don't care what it is, just win one.
Yeah. Yeah, play good baseball too, man. Like I want everybody to hit. Like Harper got to get out of this funk, man.
Yeah, definitely.
That's first and foremost important to me.
Yeah, if we have any chance this postseason, he's going to have to. He definitely heat up.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, well, I mean, the encouraging thing is that Schwarber's starting to hit bombs again.
Yeah.
That's Matty B's buddy.
Well, we took care of business early yesterday, and then it rained out after the 7th inning or 6th inning. So that looked good. Everyone was hitting home runs.
Yeah, Verlander, Stott, right?
Yeah, I mean, I was mostly, obviously it was a football Sunday, so I was watching football. But I know I have the what do you call it? The MLB.TV. Yeah. So I'm watching football, and I turn on my phone. I saw that the Marlins were winning. So I'm like, okay. I'm like, all right, let me put that on. Mm-hmm. And then, I feel like I immediately mushed it, like I leaved it. Because as soon as I put it on, the Marlins were ready to win. And then they blew the fucking lead in the 9th. I was like, shit. You know what I mean? Then the 10th, then I turned it off. I was all pissed off. I'm like, all right, I'm done. You know what I mean? The 10th comes. I look at the score. Marlins are winning. I'm like, all right. I'm like, let's put it back on. Then they blow it again. And then finally, what's his face? Then I think the Brewers had the bases loaded, 1 out, and I was really pissed off. I'm like, all right, well now we're screwed. So I turned it off, and then Paul, you texted me and you're like, yo, the Marlins look like they're ready to win. I'm like, bet, he got me. Finally, they won. I was like, yes, you know what I mean.
That thing on Messenger too when he said it. I'm like,
okay. Yeah. So we got Chris Rapizzi with a comment. Harper Pates, he's playing like shit. Yeah, I mean, let's hope he steps it up. Got a comment by a guy, Steve Roth. If you allow me to hop on, I'll be talking a lot about the Phillies. Yeah, Steve. You know what? I don't have your information to send you a link. So
we'll talk later.
Yeah, we'll have to figure that out. If you get me a link or your email or something, we can figure it out for the future here. Then we got Keno. John Lieb is the mush. Yeah, we all know that.
100%.
So
he's more than the mush.
Yes. Yeah. So anyway, so the magic number's 1. I mean, I'm feeling pretty confident, but it is Philadelphia. So if anything could go wrong, it would happen to us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let's see what Nola shows up tonight. Is it the one that blew it last year when he had them with 1 game? Or is it going to be, at least a decent 5-6 inning outing for him?
Yeah, well, that's actually what I'm kind of looking for, because, even if we back in and the Brewers lose, I really don't want to see a crappy outing by Nola. I want Nola to go in with some confidence. It looks like if we clinch this, it looks like we'll be playing the Cardinals. Now, the Cardinals have been one of the hottest teams in baseball the last couple months of the year. So it's not going to be an easy series, but
Goldschmidt.
But I feel like we have a chance to beat the Cardinals, though. I really do. Chris Rapizzi, can you imagine if all three teams win the chip? Yo, that would be great. And you notice he leaves out the Flyers because the Flyers are like 1-4 in the preseason. They look like, preseason, but they look like absolute trash, the Flyers. But I feel like if the Phillies do get in, which it looks like they're going to, I think they could be a tough out. And so let's just jump ahead. How do you think we match up with the Cardinals? Because I'm gonna try not to jinx it, but by the time we come on here next week, the playoffs would already started. So let's hypothetically say we're in the playoffs. In fact, I think the 3-game series actually would be over. It would be Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So realistic. By the time we get back in this next week, the Phillies series is already done.
Yeah.
So what 3 will go for us, right? It will be Nola, Wheeler, and then who's the third?
Suarez,
I would think.
You can't go with Falter.
You can't go with Gibson either.
He's been hot, but realistically, Wheeler, Nola, Suarez. Or if he's up to par, Eflin. I mean, I think they got him in the bullpen.
Syndergaard had a good game the other day too. So,
but
well, you know, it kind of depends on how the Houston series goes, though. Because all right, let's look at it like this: if you go Nola tonight, let's see. If you go Nola tonight, what's tonight? Monday, right?
Yeah.
So Nola would go again on Saturday. So all right. So you would go in the series. You go Wheeler, Nola. See, I don't know if you could go. What do you call it? If you could go Suarez, because if you need that game on Wednesday and Suarez goes, then Sunday would be on.
Yeah, Suarez is just on Wednesday. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. You wouldn't be able to go Suarez, so you probably would have. You know what? Game 3 would be like all hands on deck. You might even start you might even go Falter to start. You might go Eflin right away, backing him up.
Getting Syndergaard.
Right, Syndergaard. Because that would be look at it like this: if you're in a 1-1 situation and Game 3 is the deciding game, you might even go with different guy every inning because it's all hands on deck. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So let me see a comment here. We got our man Wayne Miller. He says, "Let's go, Phils. Just get in the dance and see what happens."
Yep.
We got my Vang. He says here, "Well, we destroyed the Cardinals." I guess he's saying we will destroy the Cardinals.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
Joey Wood here. You could check him out on the Out of the Box Network. He does a great show about UFC on Tuesday nights with Paul Spencer, and he also does the college football show with myself and Mike Lauro on Wednesdays. He says, "Win tonight and rest the starters the rest of the way." Hey, let's hope for that. Yeah. All right, so because I want to move on to the Eagles. So let's do our predictions here. All right, we get into the playoffs. We play the Cardinals. What's your thoughts? What are we doing? Are we still playing baseball this time next week, or are we out?
Well, we did well against them this year, right? The Cardinals, right? Didn't we win the season series?
Yeah.
Yeah, as long as our pitching is there, I'd say we take 2 out of 3.
See, now, in all fairness, though, we played well against them. The last time we played them was July 4th weekend. So they've been hot ever since. So it is kind of a different Cardinals team. But I think we could beat them too, honestly.
We've been hot since June anyway, haven't we? Since my manager changed. We've been on, winning every series pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, pretty much, yeah. I mean, except for
the ones we got swept in.
Except for when we play the Cubs and the Mets, yeah.
And the Rangers and the Rangers. Texas Rangers.
Go cold.
Mm-hmm.
But because they're pitching, what do you got? You got Wainwright.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know.
Well, what's your prediction? What do you think? What do you think? Are we still playing this time next week?
Yeah, it's going to be tight, but yes, I think more of the bats come alive. Some solid defense. and then the rest is history. I mean, let's move on and play some Red October baseball, man.
All right. Joey Wood says, going to have to hope. I guess he means hop on the pitcher early. He's coming back from an injury. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, scoring early. I guess he's talking about tonight's game.
Yeah.
Correct?
McClure, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So, well, let's hope Schwarber hops on him.
Real quick, Cardinal starters: Jose Quintana.
Yeah, from the Pittsburgh.
Right? Yeah, those two I think are the best.
I mean, he's so. Oh, you can't forget. You're right, Joe. You got Wainwright. You got Jordan Montgomery that got acquired
from the Mets. I mean, Yankees, right?
The Yankees.
Yeah.
Solid. I mean, I'm talking solid. Had a great year for them.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's ours for the taking. Just got to play smart baseball. No hiccups.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going, you know what? I'm going with you guys. I think that I'm going to be Mr. Positivity also here. I think we're getting in, and I do think we're beating the Cardinals. I know the Cardinals are playing great baseball, but I firmly believe if the Phillies get in, which I think they will, that they are going to be a tough out, because when you get in a short series and you stack a Wheeler. Nola's the wild card, because Nola could go out and give you 8 strong, or Nola could go out there and be the September Nola the last couple years.
6 innings,
it's hard to say, but I'm banking on this Phillies team has some grit. You know, perfect example was Saturday. So Saturday they go out, they get their ass kicked the first game. They lose 13-4, and I know the Nationals fucking blow. The Nationals are horrible.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But they go out there in that second game. They immediately, crank out 8? I mean, they kicked their ass. They scored 8 runs in the first couple innings.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think the Phillies are still going to be here next week, and I think we're going to be. And ironically, I think we're going to be playing the. Wait, hang on. What's this here? It's been a good season for the Phillies, but what was our September record? I don't like the trend. No, that's true. September, we're the worst team in September the last 3 years.
Yeah.
Or either the worst or the second worst. I know we're right there.
We're up there. Yeah.
But yeah, no, I feel like the Phillies. I feel like the Phillies can get there. And the ironic thing is, the Braves have overtaken the Mets.
Yeah,
we were 11-14 in September.
Okay, 11-14. Yeah, that's not. Well, that's our first losing month since earlier in the year. That's our first losing month under.
We were 10-18. We're 10-18 in May.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, since Thompson took over.
Yeah.
Joey Wood says, what's the reasoning behind that? That can't be coaching. It's a new coach. As far as the Septembers, well, I think you got to look. I mean, Nola's been
Harper was out for a long time. We lost Harper for a long time.
Yeah.
Right. But I think he's talking about the September. So you figure, Nola's historically struggled in September.
Gibson.
Gibson's been terrible this year. Hoskins is hot and cold, and he seems to a lot of times go cold in September the last few years. So Segura's been struggling. Segura struggled a little bit. So we'll see. But I think we are going to I think we're going to not only make the playoffs, but I think we're going to win the series. And with the Braves overtaking the Mets, we would actually play the Braves in the second round. So that would be or in the division series.
Yeah.
That would be a very interesting series. So hopefully a week from tonight we'll be previewing Phillies Braves, because that would be tremendous.
Yeah.
But
it'd be a hell of a series. I'm looking forward to that.
Hey, but you know what though? Let's be honest.
Then who the Mets play? Dodgers then?
Well, the Mets would play the Padres, and then the winner of that plays the Dodgers.
Well, hopefully the Padres knocked out the Mets. The Mets, Mets this year.
Yeah, so hey, you know what? It's exciting. It's exciting baseball time, but let's be real. It's a football Monday.
Yep.
So we gotta get into the birds, because football, NFL is king in this city and in this. Here we go. Now we got Diego here.
No, dude, you have Gritty on there, so it's all about the Flyers, right?
Hey, what's up, dog?
Nah,
what's
Gritty,
up, man? Can you hear me? Can you hear me good?
Yeah,
man.
Yeah.
All right, so here,
we're talking about the Flyers. He has Gritty Win on there.
No. It all with some Phillies Eagle talk.
All right, yeah. So now Diego just didn't want to talk Phillies, so he's like, "Yeah, I'm having computer issues." He's like, "Fuck the Phillies," you know what I mean? Nah, but first off, congrats on the engagement.
Yeah,
I'm glad you had a great time in Vegas. And
thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
Stays in Vegas.
Yeah, all that stuff.
Wait, what'd you say?
I said we left all that crazy shit we did back in Vegas.
All right, so
pictures?
What?
If you took pictures, you didn't leave it there.
No, we took some pictures. No, it was a good time there. You know what I'm saying? So I'm glad I'm back safe and glad I'm back on the podcast.
Cool. Yeah, I got to get out there. Again. I was out there for the Patriots Seahawks Super Bowl. One of our vendors has a Super Bowl party out there each year, and I was lucky enough to go with Janelle. It was kind of like our honeymoon at the time. So I went there the one year, and then the next year I went with my buddy Mark Weathers, and both times we threw it down hardcore. It was a lot of fun, and you know what the real weird thing is that the Super Bowl starts at like 3:30 in the afternoon out there, which is like so.
Whoa.
It's like so fire.
Well, we rented a cabana for my girl's birthday, and they had like a 70-inch TV in there and all air conditioned. We watched the Eagles game 10 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, that's banging, dude. I'll
it
tell
was
you,
awesome.
For as a sports fan, that would be like the greatest thing ever on a Sunday. Like, get up, you get up, maybe eat some breakfast, bang out a workout, get a shower. Next thing you know, you're chilling. It's like 10 o'clock. You're like, man, this is great. Football's already on. It's fucking awesome.
Yeah, so that means the London game will be 6 o'clock in the morning where you are, huh? 6:30.
Yeah, it would have been 6:30.
Wow.
Wow, that's pretty early.
I was gonna say
that sucks for your fantasy though, because a lot of people are in it. You don't know if they're in or out. That sucks. You get up 6:30 in the morning and make sure they're playing.
Yeah, I would have been sleeping through that one.
Yeah.
Real quick, we're getting into the Phillies, but I just want to acknowledge Wayne Miller's comment here. He says he likes the possibility of playing the Braves first things first. Yeah, I hear you. We got to take out those Cardinals first, and let's get in. And here we got Mike Lauro giving you a shout out. He says, Diego.
What's up, Mike? How you doing, man?
Yeah, so you're hopping on. We finished the oh, here we go. Go Birds. Eagles rock. Very nice win. Okay, so
yeah, man.
Let's go Phillies tonight, baby. One more win.
That's what we were saying, but we're getting into some Eagles here. So Diego, what was your thoughts on yesterday's game? Because in my opinion, I was more, as crazy as it sounds, because we got off to a bad start, I was more impressed with the win yesterday than I was in any win we've had this season. For the simple fact that you had guys got hurt, you had inclement weather, you had a bad break to start the game. 14-0, backups playing. All of a sudden, they hung in there, and dude, they dominated the line of scrimmage. I mean, the Jaguars came in only allowing 50-some yards rushing per game. They were number one against the rush. Eagles scorch them for 210 with two backup linemen in there. Well, one backup lineman, and then later in the game, Sayamalo got hurt. So, what was your impression on the game yesterday, Diego?
I think we learned a lot from this team, honestly. Even when we went down 14-0, I still thought we were going to win the game. I still thought we would find a way to win that game.
Yeah.
We're better than Jacksonville. Our running game and our offensive line is better than Jacksonville. So I thought we'd find a way to win that game. But I was impressed by how Jalen had that big interception to start the game off, and I feel like he settled in really nicely, and he made the passes when he had to make the passes in the weather that he was given. You know what I'm saying? So
it's almost like he shrugged it off and said, "Look, man, I got to man up and do better," and that's what he did. You know?
Yeah, 100%. I agree with that. So I was really impressed with the Eagles yesterday. And like you said, guys got hurt, guys stepped up. I feel like that's a big thing in football, that next man up mentality.
Yep.
That's what they had in 2017 when they went to the Super Bowl. That next man up mentality is huge because you're never going to be completely healthy for a whole season playing football. So If we can have guys step up when guys go down, we're bright. And Jalen Hurts keeps playing. Miles Sanders was so impressive yesterday.
Yeah.
100 something yards, 2 touchdowns. Like he really controlled that game.
4 or 5 yards a carry.
Yeah, he was good. So AJ Brown had 85 yards. Like that's what I mean.
5 for 95.
Yeah. So it was a very impressive win. Good coaching, good gritty win against a good Jacksonville team.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you. That is a good Jacksonville team. In fact, I wrote a I wrote a preview article and this past week, and it's on Edge of Philly Sports, and like that was one of my concerns coming in. I mean, like Jacksonville, people it's easy to sleep on the Jaguars because they've sucked for so many years. But like the bottom line is this isn't your daddy's Jacksonville Jaguars team. I mean, they got a lot of talent on this team. They've been hitting on these draft picks. They made some good free agent signings, and Sunshine. I kind of feel like I got to eat a little bit of crow because Trevor Lawrence was looking great up until yesterday, but I think some of that was the conditions, which makes Jalen Hurts' performance even more gritty because Jalen Hurts, while he didn't do anything great per se, he hung in there, but he didn't turn the ball over, and Sunshine did. You know what I'm saying?
4 times. Yeah,
4 times.
So we got a question here from Wayne Miller. He says, "What's the news on the Slay and Mailata injuries?"
I heard Slay's okay, not serious injury. I haven't heard about Mailata though. And actually, Slay could play next week, I think, but I haven't heard.
Yeah, Mailata got an MRI today, did
he? Yes, he did, but I haven't heard anything about it. Now, as far as Avonte Maddox, they said with that ankle injury, he'll probably miss 1 more game.
That's fine. I mean,
Josiah Scott, actually, I thought he handled himself pretty well, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I thought Scott played a pretty good game. I'll tell you what, how the Giants just let Bradbury walk?
I know.
Dude, our gain, their loss, man. I'm shocked. Just the way he plays, man. And
he's a stud.
You just think about it. He gets to play the Giants 2 times. I mean, and like we said, these guys are on 1-year deals, and they're auditioning themselves to get that long term. And I see Bradbury getting a long-term contract, Kazir White, and then after the season also Hurts, man. They proved their worth.
Yeah, to answer Wayne Miller's question, Joey Wood says, Coach said that all players that were injured could possibly play this week. Okay. Pat Bernard has a little comment for you, Diego. He says, "Congrats, Diego. Bachelor party at the Blue Oyster."
Yeah.
Chris Rapizzi, congratulations, big guy.
Thanks, bro.
Chris with another comment here. He says, "Eagles played small ball, did what they had to do to win the game." Yeah, that was my big takeaway. I mean, like right there, just exactly what it says, gritty win. It was a gritty win, and you guys talked about the James Bradbury play. That might have been the there. I think there were 2 plays. I think there were 2 plays that changed the game. The one was the drive where Jacksonville had the ball up 14-0. Trevor Lawrence had a guy open in the end zone. Thank God he overthrew him. Then they have 3rd and 1. We stop him. They go for it on 4th and 1. He rolls out. He drops the ball. We immediately score a touchdown that drive. That brought us right back in the game. Yeah. That was a turning point, in my opinion. And then also the Bradbury interception. I mean, they're driving. We're only up 6 at that point.
Yeah, he picks it off where, at the 10?
What's that?
He picked it off where, at the 10, 15-yard line?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. They were driving with a possibility of taking the lead, and I it was I don't remember the exact time. I know it was at least mid 3rd quarter, maybe even late 3rd quarter, or something like that.
Mid 3rd quarter.
Yeah, so that was that was such a huge play.
That was such a big read. He completely leaves his coverage, reads the quarterback's eyes, and breaks on and picks that off. That's like what star corners do.
Yeah, that's why star corners get paid, and thank God the New York Giants went out and signed a guy like Kenny Galladay, who fucking blows, and let Bradbury go. So thank God.
Yeah.
Mike Laura, Jeff Stoutland's the real MVP.
He knows how to pick those offensive linemen, man.
Can't argue there. I mean, Driscoll came in at left tackle. He struggled. I want to say maybe for the first drive or two, he struggled a little bit.
He was rusty.
But after that, I mean, he pass protected well. He was blowing people off the line of scrimmage. I mean, Suo Peta came in later in the game. He played well. I mean, the one touchdown, I think it was Miles Sanders. I mean, he kind of followed. Opeta kind of
followed his
lead. Followed his lead. I mean, these guys are so well coached. I mean, and like you said, Diego, I don't want to get ahead of ourselves because it is only week 4, so I don't want to jinx it and I don't want to get ahead of ourselves. But the next man up mentality is definitely there. And if you saw in the locker room, they were rocking out the dreams and nightmares afterwards too. So I was like, oh my God, are we reliving 2017?
They gotta get their own.
Yeah, you're right. Let's not get ahead of ourselves yet.
Yeah.
It's the first 4 games are really just trying to stay above water. Now we find out what the real teams are. They got their 4 weeks into playing. Let's find out if we're really for real these next 4 or 5 weeks.
Yeah, and Wayne Miller with a comment here. He says, Howie looking like a Batman with all these additions. Reddick is on a roll. Well, that's
Reddick is getting hot, man. He's playing at the perfect time, and you can't even ask for anything better. Next week his former team. This Sunday, I mean.
I was gonna say let's be honest. I mean, I brought up those 2 turning point plays, but really Hassan Reddick made. What did he had? He had 2 sack fumbles.
2 sacks, 2 sack fumbles.
2 fumbles, yeah.
4 tackles, 2 sacks.
Yeah, so I mean, he's really balling out. I was saying he's earning that paper, and a couple weeks back, people were wondering what the hell was up with him. Well, he's showing people he's the real deal here.
TGM.
Yeah, it's a new system. New system, new way of playing. He's got to get used to that, but he looks like he's coming alive.
It's good to see Jordan Davis making an impact too.
Yeah, that was
4
a big
tackles,
play too.
2 solo, tackle for loss. Good to see him get more snaps too.
Yeah, Chris Rapizzi, you guys imagine how many Batman masks would be on Broad Street? Yo.
Yeah, it'd be Philly be Gotham City, you know what I'm saying?
Dude, I'd love to see it, bro.
Gotham, Philly City.
We got here. I haven't heard this. Chris is saying he heard the Bills picked up OBJ. Is that true? I don't know. I don't have my phone on me. If it did, it just I haven't seen it.
I own him in Dynasty. I didn't drop him yet, so we'll see.
Yeah, well, Paul, I know you have Miles. Another part of this game that I thought was key. I think we kind of touched on it a little bit. Was like Miles Sanders. I mean, I know you had Miles Sanders in your fantasy league, but was this like maybe the best? Well, I know it was a career high in rushing yards, but was that like possibly the best you've ever seen, Miles Sanders?
Yeah, definitely. Especially the touchdowns too. He's getting touchdowns this year. He had 0 last year. Now he's planning on the prove a contract. So, but I read something interesting though that that the Eagles could go in a different direction after this year because they got to sign Jalen Hurts.
Mm-hmm.
I guess they want to see what Trey Sermon can do and all that, and who knows? Maybe Sanders will walk at them this year because they don't want to. I don't feel like they want to pay running back. They feel running back's a dime a dozen for this point.
Everybody who touched the rock yesterday,
running back in the draft.
Yeah, everybody
Sermon, who's a 3rd round pick.
Yeah, Kansas State has a great running back.
Actually, Sermon had he had 2 carries yesterday, 9 yards. 9 yards average. So, I mean, and they gave him twice. You got to see what he can do. But Sanders trying to get paid too.
Sanders he's gonna get a little bit of money. We're probably not gonna be able to give it to him. So
yeah,
I still think as long as our offensive line dominate, Gainwell, Trey Sermon, whoever draft a guy, we're gonna be all right at that position. Miles Sanders is nice. He's probably our best back, but Gainwell scored a touchdown.
Yep.
Trey Sermon did what he did with his carries.
Good runs. Yeah.
Imagine if Trey Sermon could turn into our J&J.
That's what I just was going to say, man. It's like Blunt and J&J. What more?
He looks like it too.
Yeah,
he looks a little like him.
Yeah, you're right. He has to, like I was saying to Joe before we started the show. You got to get Sermon more involved. Like really. Like
it's hard, but if Miles
like make the teams like Arizona think, looking at film like, oh shit, are we going to go Gainwell, Sermon, Sanders? Pick your poison.
Right.
It was neither here nor there, but just yesterday's game was so sloppy, but they got that win through that badass weather, and the rest is history. Bring them to Arizona.
Even in that bad weather, they still scored 29 points.
Yeah, which is big.
Chris Rapizzi with a comment here. He says, "Does Boston Scott walk this year?" I mean, I've always been a Boston Scott fan, but I want to say possibly because if you have Gainwell, and then if this Sermon kid shows something, how many years Boston Scott been in the league now? Like 4 or 5. You know what I mean?
I think he's 27 at this point, right?
Yeah. So he may be moving on, and then. Just to get back to Son Reddick here, Wayne Miller with a comment here. Reddick, the only guy ever to have 2 sacks, 2 fumbles, and 2 recoveries in a game besides Jared Allen in 2005. Wow, that's interesting. I did not know that.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah, thank you. I had no idea. That's pretty interesting. Mike Lauro, I know, is a fan of Sermon. He says he's a beast. We'll see. I mean, hey, like you guys were saying, I mean, if you have dominant O-line play, a lot of guys could run behind. A lot of backs could run behind this line, and I feel guilty saying it because, it was one of the best games I've ever seen Miles Sanders play.
Yeah.
And I feel like Miles Sanders having a great year. He's not dancing around like always going for the home run shot. I feel like he's actually turning the ball up and taking what the defense gives him.
Yeah.
More. So I hate to kind of like feel like I'm shitting on the dude because I think he's playing really well, but I agree with you. I don't think the Eagles are going to pay, especially when you got to sign Jalen Hurts. I don't see the Eagles paying big money to the running back position. I feel like Miles Sanders is only going to be here if it's not not a team friendly contract, but not a massive contract because teams that pay these running backs usually a year later they regret it. I mean, let's just look back. Look at Todd Gurley. Look at
Zeke.
You're right.
Look at Zeke.
Yeah, Zeke definitely took a step back.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. If you gave Jerry Jones truth serum right now, he would say like, "Shit, I wish I didn't pay Zeke all this money."
Right.
You know what I mean?
Sanders' best year was his rookie year.
Yeah.
Other than that, I mean,
he hasn't been anything special.
Yeah, he hasn't hit 1,000 yards yet. He has 0 touchdowns last year.
Yeah, exactly. All the yards, but no touchdowns. Yeah, what's that tell you? You're right.
He only had 754 yards last year. So I mean,
your best.
How about if the season ended right now? The Eagles would have the 4th pick in the draft.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was just gonna. That's what I was just going to touch on. Wayne Miller says we got excellent running back room. Also, 2 first-round picks next, sitting pretty for sure. Hey, man, shout out to Howie. Howie Roseman has definitely made a triumphant return. Chris Rapizzi says, Diego, what's the date?
I'm not sure yet. I'll keep you posted on that.
Yeah. Well, at least you have a date. So I know you're 100. I know you're going to have a date. I know some people out there. They get engaged, and they have that May date. You know what that is?
What?
As in May never happen.
May happen?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
May happen.
Yeah. I know it's so funny because I'm extremely like Diego. I'm extremely happy for you. You know what I mean? It's so fun, but we're going in. It's like opposite direction. Like Diego's getting engaged, and I'm like, all right, you know what? I'm probably going to have a get together for when my divorce goes through,
I'll be married.
So, no, but anyway, let's see.
That sounds like a Vegas trip to me.
Nah, I'm only kidding. Here we got Chris Rapizzi. Come on, bro. Mine is Chris Rapizzi, October 13th, 2023. Wow. Chris is like a year away.
Yeah, I'll probably be looking 2024, February. Here
we got Paul Spencer. He says, congrats. You could check Paul out on the Out of the Box Network. He's on numerous shows. He does he does a Cowboys show on Wednesday nights. He does a UFC show on Tuesdays. We do the college show. So check him out. He's all over the place. Mike Lauro, may the day never come, LOL. And then we got Paul with another comment here. He says, it's crazy. Last year, NFC East, 32 total wins. Week 4 this year, 10 wins already. What a change. Yeah, no, I agree. And you know, to Paul's point, obviously we're all extremely pleased with the Eagles. I do think the Eagles are the class of the NFC East, but I would be kind of remiss to not acknowledge that Cooper Rush is 4-0 with the Cowboys right now. They're right on our heels, and they're playing some really good football. Defensively, Dallas is playing really well.
Lights out.
What's your thoughts on that? I know next week we have Arizona, but what's your thoughts on the threat that the Cowboys are to us? Do you think they are a legitimate threat to us, or do you think that we are going to, in 2 weeks' time, take them out in the woodshed?
I thought coming into the season we were pretty neck and neck for this division. You know, I thought the Eagles would win the division. I thought they were the better team in the division, but the Cowboys are a pretty good team. They have a really deep defense. You know, I thought Dak Prescott would be healthy. Obviously, I didn't think Cooper Rush would win these games, but I mean, I'm not worried about the Cowboys. I still think the Eagles are the best team in the NFC, but I still think they're a good team. I think their record proves that too, with their backup quarterback.
Yeah, what do you think, Paul?
Well, I mean, it's early, right? They lost to the Bucs 19-3. Only beat the Bengals by 3. They beat the Giants by a touchdown, and they blew out the Commanders. So, you know, I think it's early to you know, say at this point. Down the line, we'll see how we're getting a harder schedule. We get the Cardinals going on and everything. So I got to see a little bit more than to say that Cowboys are. I agree. I mean, Eagles are playing well. You know, the way we're built now, I think we are the class of the NFC. But I want to see Dallas actually play more teams, especially when that comes back as well. I
mean, let's be real though. The Eagles haven't played a juggernaut yet. You know what I mean? We played the Commanders, who are trash. We played the Detroit Lions, who are trash. We played who's our team? We played the Jacksonville Jaguars, who are a good team, but not a very good team.
Vikings.
So we both. It's not like I feel like neither team has played it. The Buccaneers are probably the best team played out of every team so far from all the teams in the NFC.
Yeah,
they took an L to that. So I feel like all these teams really have a lot to prove. That's why I said let's see what happens in the next 4 weeks. Let's find out if this team's real or not. The first 4 weeks, the teams are still trying to figure out. There's no preseason anymore. Right. No one plays in the preseason. This is really their first month of football. You know, let's see if the Eagles are real in these coming weeks. When we got to play the 3-1 Cowboys, when we got to play the Arizona Cardinals next week, who just beat the Panthers pretty convincingly. You know what I mean? So I think
Cowboys play the Chargers.
Yeah, Cowboys will have a test this week.
Yeah.
So, all these teams really got to be tested. None of us have been tested yet.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Paul right here, he says he thought they'd be 1-3 with all the losses and the and everything they had, and then of course we got the Rams playing tonight. That'll be an interesting game. Rams 49ers, and
honestly, the Niners might be better off with Garoppolo than they are with Trey Lance.
Absolutely, with Trey Lance. Yeah,
I agree. Although they look like trash last week.
They did. He has in games though. I feel like Garoppolo has in games. He looks really bad, but I feel like he'll be consistent enough to get him in the playoffs, possibly.
Yeah, Chris Rapizzi, you guys go out for games to like a bar, definitely trying to meet you. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I know. I was gonna say Diego likes to watch it from his house, but I know Paul and I go out a lot, so we'll have to hook up definitely.
I'm a maniac when I watch the games, so I tend to just stay in my room and scream at my TV or scream at whoever's around me, rather than go to a bar and punch someone in the face.
I know. I get a little nuts too a lot of times. I know. I remember one time. Oh, all right. This ended horribly, but Eagles Tampa Bay back in 2002, when Deuce Staley scored that touchdown, I was so convinced we were going to the Super Bowl that like I picked John Lieb up and like threw him across the bar, kinda like he had like a cape. He was wearing like his face was painted and he had a cape on. So he had a cape. So we were at this bar. It was TJ Whalen's. It was at Castor and Cotman, and we used to go there we used to go there on the weekends for like, Saturday nights get banged up and shit. Yeah. Then we would go there for all the playoff games, big Eagles games, all that shit. And when they scored, man, the whole place was going crazy. We're like, yeah, we're going to the fucking Super Bowl. Ah! And then I hate to bring this up because then after that, all of a sudden I saw Joe Jurevicius running down the sideline. Then I saw fucking the other dude, Rondé Barber, run down the sideline. and I don't remember really talking. That was the only year I barely watched the Super Bowl because I was so pissed off because, out of all those championship game losses, that was the only year I didn't really watch the Super Bowl because I was so mad that we lost to Tampa Bay because I thought we were better than them. We kicked their ass like 3-4 times in a row. I thought we were better than the Raiders and we fucked it up. You know what I mean? Like that was like in my opinion, that was like the worst loss as a Philadelphia sports fan. That was the worst loss. That was worse to me than losing the Super Bowl, honestly.
Yeah, that was heartbreaking.
Wow. That was worse than the Super Bowl to me.
Yeah, I gotta admit, yeah.
It was the last game of the vet. But I hate to talk about a bad memory, but we were talking about going crazy at a bar, and I just remember going because when it was 7-0, because in 1980 when they beat Dallas, Wilbur Montgomery ran a 42-yard touchdown in, and the Eagles kicked Dallas's ass. So when Brian Mitchell had the long kickoff return and Deuce ran it in, I was like, oh shit, it's like 1980, let's go, you know what I mean? And then what the fuck,
Then you took a shit, yeah.
Yeah, but you know what though? That's not going to happen to us this year though. Nothing but positive thoughts this year, right, guys?
Yeah,
nothing but positive. It's more like 2017 flashbacks here. Yeah. We got Paul Spencer here. He says Dallas has the Rams next week, then the Eagles, tough back-to-back, nasty defenses. Yeah. Well, Paul, I love you, bro, but I'm hoping for 0-2 for you there, buddy. No, I mean, I just gotta be honest. Nothing personal. I mean,
I agree.
Yeah, he's my boy, but we need Dallas to catch a couple L's here, man.
Yeah, yeah. We're trying to run away with this division, not having neck and neck.
Yeah.
Oh, it was such a dick tease yesterday was the fucking Packers game.
Yeah,
the Packers game, dude. Like I thought they were going to beat the shit out of New England. New England comes in with a third string quarterback. All of a sudden, it goes to overtime. I'm like, yo. I'm like, yo, can we hang a second L on the Packers and then they win?
Yeah, Bet Parks had a nice odds boost though, +19. The Patriots that I took.
Wait, what's this?
They had an odds boost and it changed the Patriots line from +9 to +19.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it's great. Easy W.
Here we got a couple comments here. We got King James III. I got us going undefeated into the bye week, then getting healthier for the run to the first round bye. Yo, hey man, let's hope.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Hopefully.
Paul Spencer, Paul, you may be able to answer this. I think I read that he may be back.
Yeah, I think
he's targeting that game for his return.
Yeah, definitely. I think he is.
For the Rams game to be back.
Yeah, but then again, if Rush is playing so well, would you really rush Dak back and mess things up, or would you keep
bring Dak back, Cooper Rush? We're smacking that game no matter what.
No, I'm just asking a question.
Money.
If Rush is winning, why would you switch to Dak right away?
It depends. If he's healthy, you have to.
He's getting all that money. I mean, it is what it is. It stinks that Rush is 4-0, but you got to go with the guy that you're giving all that bread to.
And he's the leader of that. I feel like he's the leader of that offense right now. He got injured. It's not like Cooper Rush took that job from him or something like that. Cooper Rush playing good football, but he got hurt. He's healthy, and that's his team, and they pay him a lot of money. You got to put him back in.
Yeah. It's kind of like, remember that same year that I'm talking about when McNabb got hurt. AJ Feely was playing good football. I think the Eagles were, Feely was what, like 3-1 or 4-1?
Yeah, something like that.
McNabb came back. It's not like they weren't like, oh, we're going to keep AJ Feely out there.
No, you have to go back to your guy.
Paul with the comment about how I couldn't watch the Super Bowl. He says the only Super Bowl I didn't watch was after Packers versus Cowboys and the call with Dez caught that shit, and I was at that game first time at Lambeau. Yeah, I got to be honest. Even as a diehard Eagles, the Cowboys did get jobs. He
caught that. Dez caught that 100%.
Yeah.
It shouldn't even be a question. He caught that.
always hated that rule anyway, because remember it's like you had to be like a CSI investigator to see what was a catch or not. Like they've simplified it a little bit, thank God. But I mean, like 6-7 years ago, like you'd be watching the game and you'd be like, oh, we caught, and then you'd be like, oh, wait a minute. I was like, I'm waiting for like Horatio Kane from like CSI Miami to come out there with magnifying glasses and shit. You know what I mean? Like to see if the dude caught the fucking ball, you know?
Yeah,
crazy, bro. Here we go. Oh, here, yeah. This is an interesting one because this is one of the games in the league that was kind of interesting. What do you guys think of Horrible not going for the field goal when it was tied with 1:45 left?
Stupid.
Yeah, I agree. I was pissed.
Unlike him, yeah, I would have.
I mean, your team. It's not like your team has given up 45 points. It was 20-20. Your team was playing relatively not bad defense. You know, you got to think that they can stop them to at least a field goal if you kick a field goal. You know what I mean? So for you to go to 7 there, that was a dumb move. That didn't make much sense to me.
Well, I guess to play devil's advocate, because I agree with you guys, I would have kicked the field goal.
You got the best kicker. You got arguably the best kicker in the league too. So,
right,
but it's money.
But that was a chip shot. That was a chip shot anyway.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think I might have been able to make that kick.
Yeah, any kicker in the league should have chipping that in.
Yeah. We got another comment here from King James. He goes, I love that when Dallas was laughing at the Eagles when we paid Wentz, and now they have a quarterback controversy brewing.
Yeah, right.
I don't see it being a controversy though. It's not. I think
here's a question for you. If they go back to Dak and he struggles and they lose, what do you think then?
That's what I was going to say, Paul. What if they do go back to Dak and they struggle though 4 or 5 games, or they go 1-3? You're not considering it then?
Well, yeah.
Didn't Jerry Jones allude to something like that?
I'm not considering it now. If I was a Dallas fan, I wouldn't be considering it now. He comes back in, goes 1-3. I just watched Cooper Rush go 3-0 with the same team. Yeah. I'm gonna have some questions.
Yeah.
Now you're.
That is a question. Yeah. What do you do?
You're right, and especially if Dak races back, kind of like Russell Wilson did last year, and he looks like shit.
That's all I'm saying. Yeah.
By the way, Russ. I mean, Russ put up good numbers yesterday, but
he looked like shit.
I was going to
say he's not the Russ of old.
Maybe it could be scheme's probably not right. You know, he's probably can't adjust to the scheme now.
He's such a loser. No one likes him.
He's kind of corny, ain't he?
That's what I mean. Like, I feel like he's a corny dude. No one likes him. It even said in like this book that came out. I was listening earlier in a book that came out that he's not a likable person. That the defense in Seattle hated him.
Wow.
Yeah, and they won. I mean, he really became great like after the Super Bowl years. Like he was like a game manager those Super Bowl years. Like there was that Legion of Boom that won them that Super Bowl.
Yes,
definitely.
You know what I
mean? They lost Javonte Williams for the year too. ACL, MCL.
Yeah, tell me about it. My fantasy running back.
I have him for my dynasty league.
Yeah, Paul Spencer. He says there's no quarterback drama if Dak healthy, he starts, then he struggles. They know they have Rush. He's gained the locker room. Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing. Mike Lauro, Hackett stinks. Yeah, I totally agree. I think Denver's kind of blows, you know?
Yeah.
So, but anyway, so so big win yesterday. All right, real quick before we move on, because I just want to touch on the Sixers before we get out of here real quick, because we're playing that pussy that's finally going to play basketball tonight.
Yeah, tonight.
Mr. Softy. So next week we play Arizona. I'll tell you, Arizona, I think I am not impressed with Kyler Murray like at all. Now, I hope I'm not going to eat my words here, because watch him come out there and kick our ass next week. But he don't impress me at all, Kyler Murray.
This is him for the season. 173 attempts, 103 completions, 85 quarterback rating.
Well, that's not. I mean, he's got
991
yards. Numbers ain't bad.
His numbers aren't bad, but it's just like the eye test. Like, I don't know. He's so little out there.
Well, look what happened yesterday. The center hiked the ball to him, and dude, it went over his head. Now, if he's a 6-foot-something quarterback, that's in his head. Dude, it went over his head, and it was like the Benny Hill music. and he scampered and tried to get it. You know.
Yeah.
When does D-Hop comes back?
He ain't. He won't play with us.
I know.
2 more weeks.
Yeah.
2 more weeks.
Yeah.
Let's go. Bring him back.
Catch a break there.
I got him sitting on my bench.
Me too.
All right. Well, let's hang another L on Arizona.
Absolutely.
So Zach Ertz is next on the X taking L's next week.
Yeah.
All right. So,
after that is Dallas, right? Then we got Jason Peters.
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay.
Yeah.
Jason. By the way, Jason Pete, boy, he pancaked the shit out of somebody last Monday night. Did y'all see that?
No.
Oh, so everybody. I mean, Jason Peters. I mean, he's like a million years old, and I think he's mostly done. But boy, they had what's his face? Pollard had a long run last Monday night, and they showed the replay, and Peters just pancaked the shit out of somebody, dude. It was really, it was like flashbacks to like JP's days here,
Right.
Before the last couple years, JP, he reminds me. Remember, I'm gonna get you, sucker.
Yeah.
Remember when the dude falls down? He's like, my neck and my back. Yeah. He's like that. That's like Jason Peters, like every game. Like he plays a couple plays. Next thing you know, he's laying on the ground. Talking about how he should sue somebody for $100 million. You know what I mean?
I don't know what to expect.
Nah, so I forgot. Oh yeah, that's right. So let's get a prediction on the Cardinals week next week. What do you guys? How are you guys feeling about the matchup next week?
Liking it.
24-21 Eagles.
I was just thinking the same thing. 24-21. I don't think this will be a walk in the park either.
Okay, Sean.
28-21.
All right, so everybody.
I didn't understand that.
Oh, well, apparently they did. Apparently, what's this? Alexa don't understand. Well, what do you not understand? And Eagles are going to kick their ass. No. What's there not to understand? Kyler Murray sucks. Now, all right. So I'm going to say Eagles score like 30, 31 points. I'm going to be 31-17 Birds. I think Jalen Hurts wants to go out there and make a statement that he's the better Oklahoma quarterback. So I think he's got a hard on. They outplay Kyler Murray. And they're going to go out there and beat them 31-17. We got real quick here. Let me get a couple comments. King James III, Jason Peters was playing at elite level the last couple weeks. I agree. I saw that last week. Mike Lauro says 27-17 Birds. And Wayne Miller says 34-17 Birds.
I'm with
Let's go.
38-21.
All right. Sean says 38-21. Okay.
Run it up.
All right. So before we get out of here, we got our Philadelphia 76ers play their first preseason game. And Ben Simmons is finally going to play basketball. Any thoughts?
No.
No.
Okay.
Who is she?
Like I mean,
dude, you're banking on him. You're banking on him not getting hurt in warm-ups.
Where's the game at?
It's in Brooklyn.
Of course it is. That stadium would have sold out just a boom tonight.
I know.
Yeah. I don't put much thought into it because he did it his way, not ours. So
yeah.
Is it televised? Is it on TV or no?
I think it's on NBA TV, but I don't know if it's on in our area or not. It's preseason basketball, so I don't even really give a fuck, really. I only brought it up just because the dude I heard the dude's finally going to play. So he'll probably play like 2 minutes. You know what I mean? It's probably not.
Yeah, he probably didn't play. Whatever.
What's your thoughts? Anything? Does he shoot a three?
He shoots a three, but he's still a bitch.
All right.
What if he came out as well, like 9 for 9 for 3?
I know.
Sound like the best performance you've ever seen. It's like, wow, Ben Simmons playing basketball now.
What I don't understand is, like, we've talked about this many times, but like that, what the hell happened to him? Like in the summer league in 2016, like the dude was like shooting jumpers and stuff. Like I don't know what the hell happened to him.
Yeah, I don't know.
The Sixers are like the weirdest franchise ever. Ben Simmons shot jumpers in 2016 in the summer league. Markelle Fultz did that hezzy jumper, and Durant was like, "Oh, nice hezzy jumper," and then they both get to the league, and neither of them could shoot.
None of them could play.
Yeah, I just don't get it, man. But we'll get into a lot of Sixers talk in these coming weeks because basketball season. I mean, this is like one of the best times of the year. I mean, in fact, as a sports fan, I think it's the best time of the year.
Oh yeah,
I'll tell you one thing you won't get a lot of talking about: the Philadelphia Flyers, because they suck.
Yeah,
don't hurt Paul's feelings. Stop.
They suck.
Yeah,
they're gonna suck all year.
You can't polish a turd, right? So
they're gonna suck.
You can still talk about it and whatever. It was fine. That's why I'm going to join. I'm joining the other.
I'll be coming on 20 minutes late a lot. You know what I mean? Talk to Flyers first, because they're gonna suck.
All right, now this is no way to promote our show that's going to be coming out, because our own Maddie B, who does Phillies Final, is going to be doing a show. So for all you Flyers fans out there, make sure you check this out.
Clear the ice.
Clear the ice. Philadelphia Flyers post-game show with our own Maddie B. All right. Now, we've all established that we think the Flyers are going to totally suck. So in my opinion, it's gold for the show, because air your grievances, okay? It could be like Festivus every night with the Flyers.
You love gritty, you hate flat.
Yeah. You could have a Costanza airing of grievances every time the Flyers play, because I think we all kind of know it's not looking too good for our Philadelphia.
No, it's looking down. It ain't looking up, looking down.
Shane Couturier is going to be MVP of the league.
Yeah, Shane Couturier.
Yeah, if he ever plays,
Ryan Ellis might be the worst acquisition of all time, like ever.
Who? Rob Ellis? Who else?
Yeah, Ellis, whatever his name is.
Yeah, that was the worst signing.
I can't figure it. Like, it's the best one. It's the best one. And then you get him, and it's like, this dude don't even play.
He said, "Shit, I ain't playing here. Well, I'm going out with an injury."
No, it's funny. The only two that are worse than him are Jeff Ruland and Andrew Bynum.
Yeah.
Poland with Bynum.
Like they're the only two that are worse than
Bynum
him.
takes a cake on that one, though.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the only way you could get worse than Ryan Ellis is if you traded for like a dead guy. I hate to be mean, but you know what's funny is
they could have traded for me.
Weekend at Bernie's.
I would have stayed home and had a nice upper body injury designation.
I'd watch the Hallmark.
Pat Bernard, he'd rather watch the Hallmark Channel than the Flyers.
Yeah.
Hey, I agree, but hey, like I said, anybody that does want to watch the Flyers, and let's be honest, Tortorella will at least have these guys playing hard.
Yeah, hard to lose.
Yeah, but if you are frustrated out there, make sure you check out the post-game show and clear the ice right here. Hang on.
Yeah, clear the ice, clear your hearts.
Let me find it again.
There it is.
Make sure you check this out. Edge of Philly Sports, Maddie B, Clear the Ice, Philadelphia Flyers post-game show, air your grievances. And hey, you know what though? The season hasn't started yet though. So
I know they got to play.
We just be positive. I know we're 1-4 in the preseason. Ryan Ellis like can't play hockey. Couturier's hurt. Farabee, I mean, he's hurt, right? Ain't Farabee hurt?
Yeah.
So who the hell's playing? Like me and you?
Yeah, we might as well. I'll take
Cam Atkinson, Travis Konechny.
Well, you know what? You know what's funny? Oh, here we go. Mike Laura, he says, "Clear your colon." Okay.
just don't clear your wallet on the games.
Oh shit! Yeah.
Real quick, Keno must be talking about Ben Simmons. Okay, money happened. Yeah, Ben Simmons got that paper. He didn't have to work. So, all right. Well, in the coming weeks, we'll have some Sixers talk. We'll have some Flyers talk. Hopefully, by this time next week, we're in the playoffs. Hey, for all we know, the Phillies could be celebrating a playoff appearance tonight. So let's go Phils. We got Eagles going to kick Arizona's ass next week before we come back. So gonna get ready to get out of here, but before we do, let's check out some of our sponsors here. So first, we got our man David R. Cherry Esquire, workers' compensation, motor vehicle accidents, personal injury, criminal law. www.cherryinjurylaw.com. So when you watch the Flyers and they're criminally getting their ass kicked, maybe you can call this guy and be like, dude, can we get a fucking hockey team back in this town?
Yeah.
I mean, Christ, it's a shame, man. I started watching hockey. My first year of hockey, I was 8 years old. It was 1986-87. And the Flyers were like the top franchise in the city for like years. Yeah. I mean, it's a shame because old man Snyder must be turning in his grave at hopefully, I think Comcast still owns the team. Hopefully somebody that cares about hockey. Like, is there any shout out any Canadian dudes in Philly got some coin, maybe buy the Flyers, actually care, because they're so corporate now. Nobody
Fletcher is the worst, man. Fletcher is the worst.
Oh, horrible. I mean, the dude's a fucking train wreck.
Everywhere he goes. He has bad signings, sign people to bad deals.
Yeah, well, let's hope maybe we can tank for isn't there a guy Bedard? Isn't there some dude Bedard coming out this year?
I think so. Yeah.
All right, well, my hope for the Flyers, start tanking, pull the Sixers, and go get your hockey version of Joel Embiid so we could turn this shit around.
Yeah, right. They'll pick somebody else instead of him. So,
yeah, or it'll be like the last time we had the worst record. Chicago gets Patrick Kane and wins Stanley Cups. We got JVR.
Yeah.
We got fucked. All right, so make sure you check out phillysportstrips.com. Their next sports trip is next week against Arizona. And they have you can see right there, they have all the sports trips. And then there's a Birds tailgate down at the Navy Yard. So make sure you check that out. On Sundays, check us out for Edge of Philly Sports and the Painted Lines. Do a pregame show, a halftime show, and a postgame show. So hopefully, hopefully we're still talking wins and not airing grievances. Oops, wrong one. Hang on. And then here's all the shows for Edge of Philly Sports. So make sure you check everybody out. And let's hope that we have a great week here. So go Phillies. And all right, guys. Well, listen, it's been real. Go Phils. Hopefully by next week, go Phils, go Birds. Hopefully by next week, we will be talking about Phillies, Braves, NLDS, and a 5-0 football team. And next Monday night, we will have Mike Fuji on from Broad Street South. Yeah. So make sure you check us out. Give us a like and a listen, and check out all the shows on Edge of Philly Sports. Have a great week, everybody.
All right, guys.